We've got a lot of fun things to talk about today. I'm going to start off though with the weather. We were talking about the weather earlier. It is currently 73 degrees and very sunny in New Rochelle, New York, home of the Iona Gales, Iona College, whoop whoop.
Whoop!
Whoop. 79 degrees in New York City. Tonight in New Rochelle, we've got 49 degrees, partly cloudy, no chance of rain. Heading into Thursday is a little cooler, about 10 degrees cooler, 62 degrees, partly cloudy. That's tomorrow. And then heading into Thursday night, we've got chilly temperatures again. 46 degrees, partly cloudy, 10% chance of rain. It's a beautiful, beautiful week.
I just love how when you were saying the weather, you kind of got into your weatherman voice.
I am.
You're like, and today it's gonna be
today,
79.
If anyone knows Macy, they know that she has like 10 different voices she does.
I love.
Yeah, it kind of freaks me
voices.
out.
Oh,
I mean, I do it too. I don't know. It's like sometimes you don't notice what you're doing.
No, I get it. I get
Whoa.
my own Macy voice. So
You get your own Macy voice.
because we have a relationship.
Yeah, Josephine and I have a strictly radio relationship.
They do.
Other than that, I have multiple relationships outside of this.
So you're polygamous.
It's all right.
I'm a polygamist. You guys are learning a lot about me today.
We really are.
But this show isn't about me. And with that segue, I'm going to go into California news.
She covers weather on the east side and the west coast.
Oh, yeah.
She's well bred.
Bringing to you West Coast news. And we are still on Drought Watch. California Drought Watch is still happening. We're going to keep doing this every week until there is no drought, which means we are doing this forever. Fun news in California. California, though, this is huge news. This is monumental news. Someone has proposed a solution to our drought problem.
Dun, dun, dun.
A French firm, architectural firm, has proposed a submarine river to beat the California drought. Submarine river. Now, when you hear that, what do you think of when you hear submarine river?
A river that's like underneath the ground.
That's exactly it.
Really? Wow, smart.
A French engineering and construction firm is proposing a flexible undersea pipeline to carry water from two northern California rivers to cities farther down the coast.
Interesting.
A subsidiary of the giant multinational company has provided a feasible study to the California Department of Water Resources, suggesting water could be drawn from the mouth of the Klamath and the Eel rivers by a series of 12-foot diameter tubes anchored to the seafloor. So this water is going to be pulled if it actually happens. Now it is a $3.8 billion plan, which if you look at the grand scope of things, isn't that expensive for maybe a huge solution to our drought. But construction will cost $20 billion, and the project itself will cost $3.8 billion. It's a very expensive project, but that would just be great if there was some way to get fresh water down through California. That would help at least a little bit.
That would help.
So we'll see if that happens. Again, people are calling this suggestion, crazy. They're still doing studies on it. UC Davis Medical Center, or not Medical Center, UC Davis in general, is still trying to figure out the logistics of it to see if it's actually possible to do this project. But that would be amazing. Again, I mean, it would be sending water from Northern California to crusty and dry LA, Southern California, which is still not optimal. But if that'll help out the whole state, then you know what? Let's just do it. Jerry Brown, let's do it. That's my message to the governor. I'm calling you out. Let's make this happen. Get some water flowing through California. So that's my Drought Watch report. In other news, we have a lot of very, very major, very sad stories in the news recently. But then again, when is the news ever not sad?
Right.
As probably all of you know, Nepal, near the capital of Kathmandu, there was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake, and the death total is now above 5,000 people, with an injured list of at least 10,000 people. The UN says that more than 8 million people have been affected, and some 70,000 houses have been destroyed in the tragedy. Although aid is starting to get through, some people in more remote areas that are closer to the epicenter are stranded without food, shelter, and water. So, guys, if you are listening, please help out the people of Nepal. Absolutely devastating earthquake that hit them. The UN has launched a $415 million appeal for Nepal to help with relief. So again, they've got a pretty good fund going, but anything you can do to help out those people would be
And
great.
there are so many opportunities, honestly. Like, even Facebook's doing something with that. I don't know if you guys, like, if you go on Facebook, on the top it says, donate $2 if you can. So, really,
help out.
like, it's not until times like this where you realize that you're very fortunate. We all are very fortunate to have a home, a family. So,
Yeah. So that's my coverage on the Nepal earthquake. Again, very sad. Help out if you can. We also have, we were talking about this earlier, the riot. I'm not going to say riots. It's a riot, singular, that is happening in Baltimore, Maryland. And I was reading this strange headline that I wanted to share because I think this is just a ridiculous notion about this whole riot in Baltimore thing. The headline reads, "The Baltimore Sun," which is the newspaper in Baltimore, "Baltimore Sun floats theory that Purge movie is fueling violence."
wow. Like, all of that.
Yes. The story goes on to say the Baltimore Sun on Monday reported that juveniles who were clashing with police in Baltimore were doing it to recreate a purge. The newspaper said it was a reference to a 2013 movie, The Purge, starring Ethan Hawke. The movie depicted a society in which, for 12 hours every year, all crime was legal and emergency services were suspended. The Sun goes on to say, according to a widely circulated flyer, a high school purge was to take place at 3 p.m., starting at the mall and ending downtown. They also said that memes have been circulating. You know what memes are, right, guys?
See.
Those online pictures with the funny captions. Memes have been circulating among school students based on the purge and about what would happen if all laws were suspended. I just think this is ridiculous.
I knew something like that was, like, gonna come up.
I don't understand, why does there have to be some crazy excuse for what's happening? What's happening is just it's social change happening. Younger people in our generation, are sick of the social inequalities that have been created for them growing up in the United States in some of these neighborhoods that are of lower economic status, and I just don't understand why the Baltimore Sun, especially that local newspaper, would just claim that, oh, it's just young kids being influenced by a violent movie.
That's not what it is.
It's not the violent media's fault. It's not violent video games or violent movies that is causing people to do this kind of stuff. It's greater socioeconomic and social problems that exist in the United States that need to be fixed. All right, that's all I'm going to say about it. I know it's a very controversial topic, but I just thought that was ridiculous and wanted to share that. Because I can't believe that was even a suggestion. Maybe it's true. I doubt it. But
I doubt that.
Yeah, it's just weird to me.
It's very weird.
Anyways, moving on to political news. Hillary Clinton now has a competitor. What? Not
that
me.
you?
I did announce my my presidential intentions earlier in this show, but Hillary and I, it seems that we have another competitor.
Dun dun dun.
His name is Bernie Sanders. He is 73 years old, and he just announced that he will be running for president in 2016. He's an independent from Vermont who is considered a left-wing Democrat. And he has said that the United States needs a political revolution of working class Americans looking to take back control of the government from billionaires. I like Bernie. And I'll tell you why I like Bernie. I mean, I love Hillary Clinton. I will follow her until the end. As far as she goes, I hope she's the next president and I love her. But I like someone like Bernie who is bringing to light these issues of these billionaires basically running everything. The 1% runs everything. We talked about this in sociology class all the time. It's the 1%. All these billionaires own 85
It was
of
like
the
the top
world's-
wealthiest 3% of the world own the top 85% of the wealth. It's more than that.
It was something. Yeah, it was the wealthiest 85 people in the world. This is what it was. The wealthiest 85 people in the world own 50% of the wealth, whereas the poorest 50% own the other 50% of the wealth. So 85 people own 50% of the world's wealth. That is
That's
just
sad.
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That it really is.
So Bernie is a candidate who wants to address these issues. Of course, Clinton is the early frontrunner in the Democratic race, but we'll see what happens. We've still got some people who are possible candidates for the Democrats. The list includes Joe Biden, who is the current vice president of the United States, and Elizabeth Warren. We're going to see if Elizabeth Warren's going to try to run. She, of course, is the other female possible Democratic nominee. As far as the Republicans go, they have 3 declared presidential candidates: Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, with possible candidates being Jeb Bush, Governor Chris Christie, and Scott Walker, Rick Perry. Lots of people on the possible list. And Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, though, have announced that they have declined to run. So they will not be running. But we'll see. Anything can happen. It is still early, folks. Moving away from political news, we got comedy news. In comedy news today, Seinfeld. Did you guys ever watch Seinfeld?
Nope.
Heard of it?
No? Do you know who Jerry Seinfeld is?
Yes.
Cool. Well, this is a fun story for you. Hulu, the online streaming service, has just won the rights to stream Seinfeld through their service.
Maybe you can watch it now, Jill.
Maybe we can watch it now.
Yeah, you guys can binge watch it. That's
Well,
the
it's
way to
also
do
on
it.
Awesome.
TBS. On
Right after
Every night.
finals.
oh, yeah, it's so much to do after finals. So much to do.
But-
so little time.
Yeah, now you can stream it on Hulu. The subscription video on demand service announced Wednesday that it has agreed to a deal with Sony Pictures Television to bring every episode of Seinfeld to the service for the first time. Every single episode. It's kind of like when Friends was brought to Netflix. I just dropped a brick on the table. Cool. So Seinfeld's coming to Hulu. Seinfeld fans, you can sleep well knowing that you will get to watch Jerry and Elaine and Kramer grace your screen soon. I forgot George. I always forget George.
Poor George.
In other comedy news, this is something cool that I just reserved my ticket for with a pre-order. Saturday Night Live, the exhibition. Ooh.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
The exhibition tells the story of the late-night comedy sensation and pop cultural phenomenon that rebranded and transformed American television. Basically, it's like a museum exhibition that will be coming May 30th. It's going to have a ton of different props from the show, scripts from the show. It's basically giving you a behind the scenes glance at SNL's 40-year history with artifacts, photographs. So that'll be cool. Check it out. Tickets went on sale today. Again, the event opens on May 30th. That's a cool thing. If you're an SNL fan, comedy fan, it's a cool thing. Check it out. May 30th. I have other stories, but if we want to move on, we can. I feel like I've talked a lot about the news.
We have to move on.
I mean, there are a lot of important things happening nowadays, you know?
And I can always talk White House Correspondents' Dinner, but I'm sure nobody watched that. Basically, I'll just sum it up by saying Barack Obama had a solid White House Correspondents' Dinner speech. Wow. His delivery is so good. His writers are amazing. I know he has a special team of comedy writers that write that speech for him every year. It was amazing. He had some great jokes. A couple of my favorite jokes. He had his bucket list, which he said he had something that was the opposite of a bucket list, which you guys know what that word is. He had some great jokes. It was just an overall great job by him and his speech writers, and also Cecily Strong was the guest of honor. She did an amazing job too. Overall, it was a great dinner. Nerd prom.
Sounds like it was.
Nerd prom, that's what they call it. Did you guys know that?
No, I did not know
Nope. That's nerd prom.
that.
It was a great nerd prom for all. But that's what I've got as far as news goes.
Okay.
Was.
Well, that means we're gonna hit you with some more tunes before Josephine gets us some entertainment
Woo!
stuff. So we will be back in a few.